Let's go to Brownsburg, Indiana, and Steve. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Greg. How you doing, sir?
Good. Glad you called.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I've got a question. It's been on my mind for a while. I've heard it come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure I got my facts straight because I don't want to create a straw man or anything like
Sure.
that. And I know Sam Harrison wrote a book on free will, but
Sam Harris, right, the new atheist.
Yeah,
right.
Sam Harris, yeah, sorry. So my question is, if the atheist is being intellectually honest, are they forced to deny free will or say it's an illusion or something to that effect? And if so, why is that exactly the case?
Yeah, I think that they would be forced by the logic of their worldview to affirm determinism. Now, I'm chuckling here a little bit because there's a catch-22 in this for them. Because if determinism is true, then they're only affirming determinism because they've been determined to do so, not because there are intellectual merits to determinism as a view. You would not, if determinism were true, you would not be able to weigh the merits of any point of view.
Okay.
But I don't see how their view escapes the charge for this reason. Atheists almost universally, now there can be some exceptions to this, but almost universally, that is, virtually every atheist that you will run into is going to be a materialist.
Right.
That is, they believe, and this is the case for all of the new atheists, and those like them, that is, they believe that there is the only thing that exists is the physical world governed by natural laws. So material stuff is real, that's it. Immaterial stuff is not real.
Right.
It's all physical, governed by natural laws, and that's why this view is called either variously materialism, physicalism, or naturalism. Okay? All right, let's just say that that's the case. Now, what does such a world look like? Well, in that kind of world, there are only molecules in motion. And what governs the motion of the molecules? Well, natural laws. Therefore, any particular event that takes place is the result of some prior event that caused it. So dominoes, just think of dominoes falling.
Okay. I was thinking pinball machine is the same concept.
Well, the problem with pinball machines is you've got somebody that's pulling the spring bob that's firing the pinball out. Okay. So you have an agent that's making a decision. Okay. But purely physical things are not agents. They are just objects.
Right.
And if objects respond when another object hits it, it doesn't choose to respond. It responds by virtue of physical necessity. You have one domino fall against the other. The force of the first domino causes the second domino to fall. The second domino doesn't choose. It is an event causation. Its falling is caused by a prior event, and it is an event that causes another event, the domino after it, to fall. So just think of falling dominoes. No choices there. Now, if the universe is completely, if you can exhaust your description of reality by physical descriptions of physical things operating by natural law, there is no place in that world for acts of freedom.
Okay.
Because acts of freedom are done by an agent, and an agent is a conscious entity that is capable of initiating a causal chain.
So if that's true, would it literally, Sam Harris had no choice to write his book on free will?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, and I mean literally. If he is physically determined, he is not choosing anything. Okay. And in fact, I have an article here, or a portion of it, about 3 years ago. Not Richard Dawkins, but Stephen Hawking and his co-author Mlodinov, I can't remember his first name, I'm looking for it, wrote a book called The Grand Design. And the grand design is an explanation of everything, basically. And their point in their book, The Grand Design, is that there is no grand design, that physics is everything, and we are all determined. Right. That's one of their points, at least. And so I actually have a portion of this in front of me, and I take time to explain how, if physics is everything, one has to ask the question, what did the laws of physics determine the order of the words on the pages of the book, The Grand Design?
Right.
Because if physics is everything, then that would have to be the case. But I suspect that Professors Hawking and Mlodinow pondered the evidence for their theories, considered the implications of the facts. They posited their conclusions, then chose the right words, and selected the precise order that would best communicate their views and persuade readers of the rationality of their point. Notice all of those words I emphasized all require a choice.
Right.
But if physics is everything, there is no choice. So there's a massive contradiction here.
Yeah, it seems pretty glaring, and it seems in my experience that not many atheists are aware of that shortcoming of their view.
And this is a fair thing to ask of an atheist. If atheism is true, and this is where you may need to ask an information question at the front end of your conversation, what kind of atheist are you? Are you a materialistic atheist?
Okay.
That
So what are the choices there? Materialistic and what else?
Well, you could be a dualist atheist. That is, you could believe in the material world and the immaterial world. Or you could be a monist, that is, you believe only in the immaterial world and not in the physical world, that the physical world is an illusion. You could be kind of a Platonistic atheist or something like that. But those are the options. Most atheists are materialists.
Right.
All an atheist atheism is, and there's confusion on this, unfortunately, means a belief that there is no God. It's the rejection of the idea that God exists. It's affirming the proposition God does not exist. Okay? So you could affirm that in with three different views of reality. But generally, it is not a dualist view, and it isn't a view that only immaterial things exist. It's rather a materialist point of view. But you could clarify that, and it will show that you know a little bit about atheism, maybe even more than the atheist knows, that there's different varieties.
So all the new atheists are materialists.
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I can tell.
And then most of the popular culture reads their books. So it's
and so that's why I think it's safe to assume that. But then once that is, then you get clear on that, then fine. Then you could say, okay, so nothing but physical things exist. Okay, causes are what? They're event causations. They're molecules banging against each other, right? Okay, now how do you account for free will?
Right.
In that scenario.
So they have no choice but to talk to me, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think they're stuck, and this is why people like Sam Harris are going to have to bite the bullet and say, "Yeah, I guess I'm a determinist," because I don't see any other option that you have.
Okay, no, thank you. That's fair enough. It just seems so glaring.
Yes, I think so. And if a determinist, by the way, if there is no free will, I don't know where you get morality. But he has a book that I just bought a couple weeks ago because I'm writing an article that is answering some things in that book. And his book is on morality from an atheistic perspective, even though you're a determinist. How can you have determinism and morality? Because doesn't right and wrong entail some sense of freedom in order to be held responsible? Yeah,
no, the contradictions are pretty thick. So.
I think you're right. I think they are.
Okay.
All right, Steve.
Greg, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. I appreciate your call.